Folks, Marvel is at it again, and this time we're getting Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this film is directed by Sam Raimi, and he's done films like the original Spider-Man trilogy, the original Evil Dead films, the prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and also Drag Me to Hell. And I'd like to ask, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and comment below your thoughts on this film, and also turn on the notification bell so you never miss any videos that I make, as I upload weekly reviews every week. And now without further ado, let's jump into my thoughts on this brand new Marvel film. Dr. Stephen Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens the doorway to the multiverse, including alternate versions of himself, whose threat to humanity is too great for the combined forces of Strange, Wong, and Wanda. The film stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Wong, Xochitl Gomez, and Rachel McAdams. Here we have another Marvel film, and if you follow my channel, you know that I'm not the most hyped up of Marvel films. Honestly, superhero stuff, it gets a little bit exhausting for me. I don't really necessarily gravitate to these films as much as other films. And I really didn't remember the first Doctor Strange film. I technically don't really know if I saw it prior to rewatching it this past weekend. I don't really remember the film at all. But watching the first film, I thought it was okay. I didn't really absolutely love the film, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So going into this film, I really didn't have a lot of expectations. And I really thought that coming off of No Way Home, it was going to be really hard to really top a film like that, because that was probably the best film since the Infinity War and Endgame. So going into this, you know, the expectations weren't that high. But I can say going into this film also that I really was looking for Doctor Strange's character to really be developed more, because I felt in the first film that it really takes a while to really get his story out there. And he was developed enough, but I was really just seeing exactly how they were going to progress his character going into this, and they really do progress his character a lot more in this. He's a lot more comfortable as being a sorcerer in this, and he has all his different little spells that he does in this. And he does have a new character played by Xochitl Gomez. She plays America Chavez in this, so he has that new character in this film. And then he also has obviously the villain that he battles in this. And I will say that there are a lot of people who are saying that you have to watch certain shows before watching this. I particularly don't think that you need to going into this, such as I never saw a What If series. My wife did see it, and she did fill me in with like one particular scene that I guess involve the What If characters, but it really isn't something really necessary that you really have to watch before going into this. And then also the WandaVision series, I did watch that going into this, and there's a little bits sprinkled in from that series, but it's not really something dire need that you need to watch before going into this film. As with every Marvel film, this film is shot very well. There are some pretty good camera shots as normal, and I did like the fact that we have Rachel McAdams back on screen. She really isn't in any films anymore, so it was great to see her on screen. She's absolutely gorgeous. And I felt that, you know, she does her character well on this. She doesn't really have a huge prominent role, a little bit in the beginning of the story, more so for inner feelings of Doctor Strange and how she is involved in that whole relationship, as she does have different battles to cross with Doctor Strange, as that kind of boils over from the first film. And then you have America Chavez in this, where they do have a little bit of a backstory as to why she is involved in this multiverse. And then you have Wanda, of course, and her character was really fleshed out in this. She gets a big spotlight in this movie, and I really thought that she did a really good job just playing her character and playing what she is supposed to play in this film. I don't really want to say too much about her character if you have not watched the film, because I don't want to bring in any spoilers, but she does a really good job in this. And what I also did like about this film that some people haven't really liked and others have liked is I love the horror elements in this film. It's not really some really scary movie, but you can really tell that Sam Raimi, he really wanted to portray this film as a darker kind of film, and I really love the darker elements that he has in this. There's definitely horror elements that you can see from like a Drag Me to Hell, but it's not something that is really, really scary and, there's a lot of jump scares or anything like that. That's not what this film is trying to do at all, but I like that they mix that up in this. And then I also did enjoy the score in this, as Marvel is pretty good at really putting and implementing music and different sounds and different ways of how they kind of structure their films and just trying to get the moods out of different people. I felt that the runtime was completely perfect for this film. I don't really think that it should have been any longer. I think it was the perfect length for this film. But I do have some negatives about this film. First off, the CGI, especially in the beginning of the film, it doesn't feel as polished as it should, and Marvel is known for having a little bit better CGI than the beginning of the film. So it wasn't really a detrimental thing to the film, but it definitely wasn't as good as it has been in the past for Marvel. And I also didn't really care for America Chavez's character, more so the writing towards her character. She's kind of a rookie kind of actor coming into this, and I didn't really like the jokes that they had for her and some of her lines. They were kind of cringy at points. I felt the backstory she has, it was somewhat kind of lazy. It felt like they really just kind of forcing it in. It has that sentimental moment, obviously, with her parents, but it feels a little bit forced. And then I also thought that for this movie, at points, it was really fast-paced. There were points where I was like, we really need to slow down a little bit, because it was just so much things going on, and it just felt like it really took me out of the movie a little bit, because it was just fight after fight and different things going on, and I just wanted it to slow down a little bit. And then I didn't watch the other trailers, but apparently some of the cameos for this film were revealed in the other trailers. I only watched one trailer for this. I really don't think it's necessary to have 3 trailers for a film like this. People are going to see it regardless. Obviously 198 million this weekend, so 3 trailers were not needed. So I only watched the first trailer, so none of the cameos I knew were in this film. So it was a surprise to me, as it was to some people that didn't watch the other trailers. So yeah, I did like the cameos in this. I didn't think that we needed any more. I think there was enough for this film, and I felt what they did for this film and how they were going to build this film, it was fine the way the cameos were. Now, I think some of the characters were in the What If series, which I didn't watch, of course, but just know, if you want to go watch What If and you haven't watched What If, some of those characters are in this, but it's so brief and it's not that long of the movie that it really isn't much of a problem if you haven't watched What If. So don't really have to really worry too much about that. And then the battle scenes, I thought they did a really good job with those, with Doctor Strange and the villain. I thought that they really developed those scenes, and I just really love the horror aspects that they have throughout those scenes, the different darker colors and the darker tones in that. I thought they did a really good job. You could definitely see where Sam Raimi shines in this, and they gave him this money to direct this film, and he just ran with it, and he did a really good job really capturing the dark elements of this film. Now, for some, they may not like the darker elements of this film, but I really did enjoy it. And if you've seen any of Sam Raimi's films, The Evil Dead and also Drag Me to Hell, then you really know what I'm talking about in this film, because he really does a really good job of painting that horror scene throughout this film. And also, don't forget to stick around for the 2 end credit scenes. One of them is just more of a funny kind of scene rather than just kind of really adding to the story. And then there's another one that will be adding to the story. And it's kind of brief, but it was cool to see. And I was definitely interested to see what they're going to go with Doctor Strange, providing that they make a 3rd movie, which I'm pretty sure that they will, especially after the gross that this film did this weekend at the box office. So what would my score be of Doctor Strange? I would give this film a 3.5 out of 5. I think it is better than the first film, as Doctor Strange is more fleshed out in this film. And then, of course, Wanda is more fleshed out in this film. She really gets to really shine with her character in this film. And I thought that the fact that these 2 characters are really centralized in this film, I thought that they did a really good job with trying to flesh out those characters. So you really don't have too many characters on screen, and because you don't, you really can really pay attention to the few characters that you do have on screen. So 3.5 out of 5, like I said, it's a pretty solid film. There are some issues, like I said, with it, but I really did enjoy this film. It's not my top of Marvel films, but I really do think it is worth a watch, and I definitely would check it out again, especially when it comes out on physical media. I definitely would pick it up and add it to the collection. But those are my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching this review. Let me know down below, did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you guys think about this film? It's very mixed all over. I have not seen one of the same reviews. Most of the time for Marvel films, I see everybody loved it, but everybody was pretty mixed on this film, so it was very interesting to see people's thoughts, especially with the darker elements that Sam Raimi incorporates in this. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.